Welcome to the Creator Roundtable, a space where some of the most inspiring creators sit down to talk about what it really takes to build a creative life in today's digital age. I'm your host, Jeff Nang, a full-time content creator, music producer and tech founder. And today we're not just talking about content, we're talking about the people behind it, what it takes, their dreams, their doubts, and everything in between. You know, it's super easy to scroll through social media and look at all of these creators, look at their numbers, their followers, their views, and think that everyone's thriving. But that's far from the truth. Behind every post is a story, one that's usually messy, uncertain, and deeply human. But hey guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's start with a simple question. What was the point where you decided to kind of go into what you do now, or like being a bit more in a creator space? Was there like a turning point? Was there like a pivot moment in your life?
I think for me, it was leaving university. So when I graduated in 2019, so basically like 2 weeks after graduating, I found my first client that I could put on a retainer, which was insane because like 2 weeks after graduating, and I've already got someone that's like paying me a consistent monthly salary. I was amazed. So I thought, okay, if I've got one, then I can do two.
Yeah.
Problem was, like 5 months after graduating, we went into COVID. So then we was in lockdown for a year and a half. So like that client
crazy.
They just kind of put me on the back burner for a little bit. But I remember in COVID, I was plotting. Like every single day, I'd just wake up and be like, okay, when we get out of this pandemic, I'm going to get in touch with this company, that company, and I'm just going to make it work. And as soon as the lockdown rules started to like ease up a bit, that's when I just went really hard and started sending out emails to a bunch of companies, started coming back and forth to London all the time and just really trying to make it work. So I think after COVID, that's when like a fire was kind of lit.
Okay. But what was the transition before like being in like a job and then going into like photography and what you do now? Like there's a like I feel like there's a missing piece in there which made you like, I want to do this and then start getting clients. Like was there like an inspiration? Like did you see someone else doing it or something like that?
I think a lot of photographers I saw in London were making it work. Because like Birmingham's a bit, I say this to everyone who is outside of London, the ecosystem and the creative sector that we have down there is nothing, up there is nothing like it is in London or like any other major city across the world. Like there's so much like regional disparity around the UK. So like I think when you're in London, it's very much possible because you see it on your doorstep. Even if like you could be from south, north, east, wherever, you know that there's a way to make money by being creative. But in Birmingham, it's a bit different. So I think like I'm assuming everyone here is from London. I feel like you guys kind of motivated me more to like see that it was possible, but then also wanting to have my foot in both worlds. So being here all the time and like working with brands, but then also taking my knowledge and my experience back to Birmingham and then helping out the younger generation, but also my generation too, because I felt like if I just moved here and I was just trying to be like in this scene, then it would be great, but then like all of this knowledge, all of this money, like all of the connections would just stay here. And for me, it's just about never forgetting where you come from. So I think seeing that was big. But then I also worked at my university too. So I was in the Housing and Loans department, which was like camera and audio equipment. So like from there.
So that's that was the piece.
That was the transition kind of like where I'd learned everything about cameras and knew what camera I was going to buy when I left university. So they kind of gave me a little through ball and was just like, okay, you've been here for 2 years, you've got your qualifications, you've got your experience, you know what you're doing with cameras. Now is the time to go there. But then like, even my lecturers, they'd always say like, okay, go there, but come back here. Don't ever, like, you know what I mean? Like, remember where you come from. Because you can thrive there and you can thrive here. It just requires balance.
Yeah, I love that.
Amazing.
About a pivoting moment.
Yeah, for me, it's like I've never really thought about like being a creator and making money from it because I come from quite a traditionally like academic family. So it was always kind of like go to university, get your degree, and go into like a traditional 9 to 5. But what I've always loved is kind of inspiring people, having impact in my space, especially for young women who look like me. So when I started my career at Microsoft, there was a lot of opportunities to go to panels, right? Like tech companies want young women, all women, to kind of come and join the industry. So there was lots of opportunities to kind of go talk about it.
Yeah.
So Microsoft would basically ship me out
Wow.
to like schools and universities and stuff like that.
And you were like repping.
Essentially. And I was going around telling everybody, come and work in tech, come work for Microsoft. And I was really excited by that because for me, I didn't have that representation. I know I'm the first woman in my family to work in the tech space. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person in my family, full stop.
Yeah.
Traditionally, my family are in finance, medicine, law, kind of like the traditional areas. So I was really excited to think, oh wow, like you can make good money. There's snacks in the office. It's like amazing. So I
love that. How
like,
that was your number 2.
No, that was like my thing. I was like,
number 2. Money and snacks, bro.
Free snacks in the office. Come on, like this is
Yeah.
not something that you've ever heard of.
No.
And so I was kind of doing this thing, going out and speaking to a lot of people, and I actually bought the year 8 girls from my old school into the Microsoft office. Yes, because I wanted them to see. Because I'm actually from outside of London as well. So I grew up in a small town outside of Bristol.
Oh, nice.
So really, you don't really get to see the big city life and stuff like that. So I did that at the beginning. What I realised was a lot of people were asking me the same questions. So I would go to the panel, then I would get LinkedIn requests, and people would be messaging me like, "Oh, how did you do it? How did you start? What can I do?"
Nice.
And then during COVID, because we all had nothing to do apparently, I should have been working, but I just decided like, why don't I start like a blog? That was the first thing. I was like, I could write a blog so people don't keep asking me the same questions.
Yeah, of course, you reach a bigger...
And then people they can just, see the blog, and I can reach more people, and more people can be excited. So that was the first thing I did. I kind of started writing a blog, and then I was like, I'm not a writer. Come on. Like, this is too
And
long.
this is pre-ChatGPT as well.
Yeah, this is pre-ChatGPT, so you got to use your brain. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. So then I moved on to Twitter. And at the time during COVID, there was a hashtag, a Black Tech Twitter, and it was very much growing. It was a community that was starting to be like build and starting to become something. So I started posting on there a lot about like my journey, like telling people these are the certifications you could take, etc. And then I switched to Instagram. So this was 2020. So at the time, there wasn't as much like education content creators around. There were a few, but it wasn't like a huge community that was kind of everywhere. So I found out about Canva. I don't know how. Found out about Canva, started making these terrible infographics, then started posting them on Instagram because I was like, oh, it's another medium to reach people. And then I was like, I remember saying to my sister, I don't think this is going anywhere. I don't think anybody really cares about it on Instagram. And then one day I randomly signed back into the platform, and I saw that it's really random, but I saw I had 28 followers. And I was like, 28 people?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that can fill a room. Like,
Bro,
that's an audience.
That's what I'm saying,
So I was like
just 28 people,
28 people, that is not 2 people, that's not 3.
Oh,
that's
I love
over
that.
That's 28 people looking at you.
Yeah, and I was like, I've got an audience now. So started posting, and that's kind of how it just grew. And then I was, that when I realised that this could be like a potential career, I think I had like 800 followers. And that's when a company reached out to me and they were like, oh, we'd love to pay you for your video.
I love that.
Yeah, like I think I gave it to them for like £100.
Yeah.
At the time, I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, oh, amazing. And then, that's kind of when I was like, oh, okay, there's a potential. But before that, it was kind of just like, let me get this messaging out there. Let me get more women onto this journey with me, and that's essentially the story.
I love that. I love the growth of that and the progression, man. How about you, Destiny? What was the kind of pivoting moment that allowed you to be on your path now?
Oh, so mine's definitely not traditional at all. So I started my project in university, and the project was about my own experience with rheumatoid arthritis and my best friend's experience with having an ostomy bag. So I kind of took both the medical devices that we both wear, and I made like a project about it to firstly talk about the illness, and secondly redesign these devices into accessories. And I did that in university as like almost like a therapy form, because I was still dealing with my illness and like coming to terms with it. And I remember like a few people, like 1, 2, 3 people would be like, damn, this really resonates with me. Like this project's gonna be really powerful. And I'd be like, okay, great. Like I'm resonating with like 2, 3 people, and these are like really intense things that they're telling me, like not just like, oh, nice, cool, whatever. And then I remember I'd also go to like parties and stuff, and I'd tell people about this project and stuff, and they'd be like, whoa, this is crazy. And then that's kind of how I got this little inkling that like maybe I should pursue it and continue it.
Wow, okay.
So then after university, when I graduated, I was still pursuing this project that now turned into like my work. It's like my art form. And then I just knew that it was my creative thing that I was doing, but I didn't really know what it was going to be or anything. And I got this internship in this fashion PR company to kind of like learn from them and like kind of like grow my business on the side. But I never knew that like there was any potential for this project because I was still like posting about it on social media and stuff, but like barely any views or anything. I'd have about like 200 or 300 followers on like Instagram and stuff about the project. But then one day I got a grant, like a creative grant that said,
nice.
I really love your project, because I applied with my project and all the work that I did. So they were like, I love it, we're going to give you a grant. So that was like a big moment where I'm like, okay, this actually has some substance to it, and like this thing that I'm actually pursuing, like it's, I should probably go all in. And then that exact same, like, I think it was like in 2 days, I got the grant, and then I also had this other exhibition company say that they love my work and they want to like exhibit it. So it was kind of like a big moment where it was like finally catching a bit of like momentum.
Wow.
And that was the moment. It's a bit silly that I did this, but that was the moment. I was working as a hostess and I was working at my fashion PR company. So that was the moment that I stopped both those things and I went straight into
That's
the work.
crazy.
Yeah,
You just
and
went into that. Like,
I went straight into it. And with me, I kind of believe that if you want to do something, you need to put 100% in it. You can't have distractions, you can't have different things that's taking up your energy, because all my energy was on this project, and these little opportunities that were happening, they kind of told me that there was something worth pursuing in here. And then I went all into it, and then things started going, like maybe one video started going viral. And then I went to like Goa for like a couple months, where I'm from in India.
Nice.
So I went to Goa, and then I just worked on like my brand remotely, and I was like getting samples and designs and
Is that the
all
reason
of
why you
that.
went there to get actual like
kind of like
samples?
my mental health was kind of really bad in the UK, and like I don't know if you guys would relate, but like working on like a business and working on like my own thing, it got kind of difficult in the UK because it was grey, it was gloomy. I wasn't
No
getting
sun
inspired
energy,
or
man.
anything. So then my mum was like, just go to Goa and like just do your work there, even if it's for like 2 months or 3 months. So I did that, and I started like creating things in like Goa, like fabrics. I found like a tailor, all of this. And then when I came back from Goa, it was really weird. Maybe like a month after I came back from Goa to the UK, that entire week I still kept pushing the project, still kept posting on social media. Not crazy things were happening, but then I remember the week that like changed everything for me was actually the day that changed everything for me was in the morning. I got an email from a competition that I applied to for Vogue and BMW.
Oh, wow.
And they sent me the email, and they were like, Destiny Pinto, congratulations. You are one of the winners
I
for our
love
Future
that.
Creators competition, and you're going to be part of this massive campaign, and all these things are going to happen. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
This is, guys, this is the afternoon, mind you. So in the evening, I was going to the Adidas exhibition. They have like, I don't know what it's called. It's like the cohort or something.
Okay.
It's for like young creators. They were doing an exhibition. I was going with my friend, and I get the train from where I'm from. It's very close to London, but I still need to get the train into London, about 30 minutes. So I get the train, and I'm so excited, like over the moon, over this competition. I never thought that I would win a competition like this, especially with Vogue in the fashion industry. And that was basically them saying, we believe in this work that you're doing, and it has a big impact in the fashion industry. So it was a bit crazy. But anyway, I was on the train, and I remember getting my phone out, and I was putting on like lip gloss. So I'm taking my lip gloss and I'm putting it on, and then I literally just go on Snapchat actually, and I record myself putting on lip gloss. And then it was literally on that train, on that day, I'm putting on lip gloss. And then I just make like a TikTok about this clip with me on the train putting on lip gloss the day I found out about the Vogue competition. And I'm like, point of view, I have a fashion brand that I turn medical devices into accessories, and I posted like 3 clips of my work.
Right, okay.
That's the clip that went viral.
Wow.
Went completely crazy viral.
Wow.
Like everywhere. And then
How was your TikTok before that? Was it
It was
growing?
one viral video.
Okay.
It was one viral video, but it wasn't any followers, nothing. This viral video led to every single other one of my content that I posted since that time to all getting the same amount of engagement. And that's when like news outlets like Washington Post, BBC, People magazine, all of them started like finding me. And that's when my audience grew, everything. Mind you, now this was the beginning of the Vogue competition. So we've won the competition, but now it was like a journey for the next couple months with Vogue and BMW. So I was already overwhelmed with that. But now I have like my phone blowing up, like all these things, people coming to like ask me to do like interviews and stuff. And I was like, guys. And that happened in like a day. So realistically, in like a week, like everything changed for me. And then that was the moment that I was like, okay, well, this is...
Wow, it feels like you just went from like, you know, accolade to accolade. You just had all of these stars that just was just thrown upon you like every day. And that's awesome, man. Like I can't, but you took action though. You didn't like, you saw the opportunities. I wanted to ask, like, with something like that, did you mean to like have that internship, and did you kind of like in the back of your head like have these
1000%.
milestones to like get to like where you are, and you know?
I think, actually, if I can correct myself, I think I did the internship when I came back from Goa.
Okay.
So I remember when I came back from Goa, I still had a bit of momentum with like my work, and I would keep constantly going to like networking events, go to like people, talk about my work, ask for advice, how can I push myself? And I went to this one with the Sarah Bande Foundation, where they were doing like speed mentoring, and one of the ladies from Days magazine looked at my work, and she's like, I love your project and I love your work, but the thing that's going to push you even further is by doing a fashion PR internship.
Right.
So by just saying that, like, I was like, okay, now this is what I need to do. And I found a way to get a fashion PR internship. And I always say this, like, yeah, big things can happen to you, but if you don't have like your own drive and your own like push to like make next steps happen for yourself, you're not going to get to like the next thing, because it's not... Things don't just come to you without you doing. Yeah,
there's a lot of people that think like, oh, I'll just like attract it. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna pray for it, and it's gonna come. And yes, that does. I think that, you know, it does work, because you're basically like changing your mentality and your thoughts. But then there's the work and grit that you got to put in. Like you got to take the steps and like not just sit in your room and meditate and stuff.
And people can see like all these things that I've done and everything. And then I remember having a conversation with someone recently, and they were like, oh, things just keep happening for you. Like it was like one thing, and now it's like next, and it just keeps coming to you. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, no, I had to in between each of those things.
You didn't see the whole story.
See me like grinding and pushing and making this next opportunity happen, and also leveraging what I've done in the past to get the next thing, you know? So it's like, don't think that just because people have all these things, like they didn't do anything for it. And don't think that just because you haven't had this one thing, that there's not things you can do that you can also get the same thing.
I think that's why it's good to show the progress and like show the journey, because I think people just assume things happen. So I get that a lot too. People like, also you just worked with Instagram, like they just got in touch one day, and I was like, it wasn't one day, it was years of forming a relationship with someone who worked at all these different companies, and every time they would to get to where I need to get to, like these things, it's not, it is just a random email on a Wednesday. I can understand why people think like that, but it's like 2 or 3 years of just
the back of work. Done
connecting, networking, and putting yourself out there, right? Like one of the reasons why I started getting this content was, it was again through COVID. It was 5 years ago, but with me, I lost my dad during COVID. Not through COVID, through cancer, and I lost my father-in-law as well, like 3 months apart. And so those were like challenging times where I just kind of looked at life, and I was just like, am I happy doing? Because prior to that, I was like making music for like TV and media companies and stuff like that. And that was cool and everything, but I just felt like it wasn't my own thing. We were talking about ownership like earlier. And I just didn't think I owned it. And then, during that time, I was, after that, like maybe like 2020, 2021, I was like you know what, I really want to just like put a message out there, and I also want to be authentic
Yeah.
in like
Very
what I'm
important.
putting out there, because prior to that I was just copying other creators, and it wasn't really, and that's the reason why it wasn't working. So I was on IG, I was on like 4,000 followers for like years. It just didn't bump up. And then like January 2021 came, I was like, I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to scrap my TikTok, make a new TikTok, just start from scratch. And then I started making content like to help creators. And I always said to myself, I wrote it down, I was like, only reason I'm doing this is to help me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's literally, I'm not doing it for no cash or
yeah.
no nothing.
Yeah.
I just literally, because I watch a lot of Gary Vee, and Gary Vee is always like, you need to add value to people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I feel like I do add value, and I feel like all of us add value to people. Whenever we have conversations with people, we add some sort of value, and that's what inspires us.
Absolutely.
And so that's probably why we've taken like our face and gone online and have an online presence and stuff, because we get like a high when we like inspire people. Anyways, so I started putting content out, and then I was on TikTok, and I literally just put like one of those 3-second posts out, you know, when you have like the trending sounds in the background. And I just had like a POV, like you found a way to make £10,000 through music without having a record label backing you. That just went viral. I was like, this is 3 seconds long. Everyone was like, how? How? I was like, there was no many chat at that time, so I was just like, that's crazy. It was literally my second post, and it just got me from like this to that. And then I was like, okay, the TikTok algorithms, cool. I was like, I can mess with this.
Back then,
They have their
Back
moments.
then,
2020.
2020, yeah, it was good. And it was like COVID, so
Yeah,
everyone was on it. So I started like obviously making more content on IG and then TikTok. And then that's when brands started coming up to me and they were like, how much do you charge for a post and all of this? And that's when I was like, I don't know what I charge. I didn't really mean to like, I didn't even know that this was a thing, like brand deals and stuff like that. I just got in it because I think in the back of my head, like I had a lot of music to put out and I really just wanted to grow my music and put my music out. And then that kind of was just like, it's like I had to pivot. It's like I just thought like, no, there's another world of like making content, like how this can serve
It's a
other
business,
people.
right?
Yeah.
There's a difference rather than you. There's a difference between you showing up behind a camera and being a business where you need to, you know, charge people, you need to do invoices, you need to look at contracts, there's so many elements to it. Like you were like, oh, I was just making these little fun videos on TikTok. And now this company's telling me I need to fill out my tax form. Like,
That's a
how
lot.
did we get here?
But I definitely knew that there was like, like I had, like I've always been doing music like my whole life and like producing for other people. So I knew there was something there that I could actually show people of how to like create music. But I didn't know that there was like all these attachments. But also during that time, like I had to figure out a way to like systemize my process of making content. And that's what I wanted to ask you guys, because at that time I literally, in my head I was like, I don't want to spend too much time on content. I want to spend 1 hour a day. So I would literally, in my studio setup, I've literally got my camera here, I've got all my editing software. So all I got to do is write a quick script, go press record and everything's recording, and then edit it. It literally takes me an hour to make a song, put it together, film it and edit it. 1 hour.
Really?
That's all I gave myself. And then when my son came out, I was like, this needs to be shorter. But by that time I was already...
He needs to help with the editing.
But just because...
Get him on the job already.
In the back of my head I was like, I don't want to... I feel like you shouldn't spend too much time on content. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what is your process and how have you systemized it, if you have, and what's made it easier?
That's a great question. That's a really loaded question. Okay.
Is it easier?
Is it easier?
I think so, because you spoke about your 3-second clip and the clip that you made on TikTok. Sometimes the things you do, just the things that require the least amount of effort tend to perform the best. So you make a quick video and you're like, oh, I'll just throw this out. And then that ends up being the video that everyone knows you for. And it's really frustrating because you'll do that and then you'll spend like 3 days on a project and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever made. Put it out there.
It flop.
Crickets.
Literally
nothing.
crickets.
You're out here DMing people like, hey, can you just like,
Can you go like this?
can you just go like this? I just don't think you saw this. I know you had a busy weekend. I know you was in LA, so
Give me a like.
just help me out. So I think with me, I tend to just, hopefully this answers your question, but I tend to spend a decent amount of time on everything, and then I tell myself in the back of my head, okay, I gotta let this go.
Yeah.
So I'm very good nowadays at just letting things go. Like
Sure,
I'm just like, I'll just look at it and I'm like, okay, this is good enough. Move on to the next thing. Because I feel like when you spend too much time on one piece of content, it's like you care about it because you love it and you put so much effort into it. But at the same time, it's about the next thing. So it's just like you've always got to think about, okay, I've done this, but like, what's the next thing and what's the next thing?
Are you critical with the time? Like if you spent like a day on it or like 2 days, you're like, nah, I need to move on to the next thing, or do you just feel it? Do you just like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. Let's move on.
It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've learned over the years. I think that's the best thing about being experienced about something. You just get to a point where like it's like your gut. Like this gut feeling, this intuition where you're like, okay, I've been here before. I know this piece of content is similar to the last piece of content. I can just put it out there now and then just move on to the next thing. Because it's like, I think it's consistency too. Like we live in this age where you never want to be like a one-hit wonder, and that's the problem a lot of the time. You see it within music, in art, creativity. One person makes this one thing and they put it out there and they try to kind of ride on that one thing that they've made for a really long time. And it's like everyone can have their 15 minutes, but the thing that like leads to longevity is consistency. So if you spend too long focusing on one thing, you'll never
see
get
the results.
Exactly, you'll never get to the next project, and that's how I look at life as a whole. Like as soon as I'm done working with one client, as soon as the invoice is paid, I'm like, okay, next one. I'm working on a newsletter to send out to past clients. I'm going to the networking event. I'm doing all of these things because it's like it can't. Because I think early on I'd get so hung up on like this one thing I've made. And then people would kind of say to me like, "Oh, that's good, but like what's the next thing?" I'm like, "Next thing." Like,
they love asking what the next thing is. Like, let me breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, you don't know how long I spent on this, and they're like, "No, like you're fantastic, but you need the consistency." And sound like a broken record, but it's just about
churning it out.
Churning it out. Yeah, just always having something that you can put out there because people forget too.
I think because I had a corporate career for quite a long time. I've taken a lot of like what my corporate career day would look like into creating content. I definitely take a strategic, like time efficient way as well, because when I was working like full time, I had to, right? I don't have the day. I've got like multiple meetings in the diary. So yeah, I do this thing where it's like I calendar block a lot of the time. I calendar block my life, to be honest. I'll just...
Me too, man.
I'll say like, 8 to 9, this is filming. Like once I'm done, that's it. I can't, maybe I might give myself, a block for extra time. But other than that, I say, right, 8 to 9, gotta do this. Then 10 to 11, I've got to edit. Then 11 to 12, you need to get it out. And then having that structure for me really helps me to keep, it just like in my mind and to get that level of content out every single day. To show up every day, I need to, have a bit of strategy with it. And then, spend some time, maybe block out some time for just thinking, right? This is my time for just thinking. What ideas do I have? And I think also if I don't do that, for me as a creator, you'll end up looking for ideas for way too long. And sometimes that just messes up with the idea that you wanted to put out anyway. You're there like, I need inspo. So you end up scrolling for 2 hours. And it's like that time you could have been creating. So maybe consume.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, you're doom scrolling. You're, consuming more than you create. Like maybe consume for half an hour. And then take another half an hour to digest what you've seen. And then it's like, then I'm on to just creating. I think a lot of content creators we do spend a lot of time consuming, like, let me look at this, maybe I can get ideas from that. I think sometimes that stifles you, if anything.
It does,
you started off with an idea which was probably great, then you spend 3 hours looking at other people's ideas, and now you think your idea is rubbish. And you're like, okay, now I can't put this out. I need to think of this new idea. I try to take a bit of strategic
and always creating more than you consume for your mental health.
For my own mental health.
I like that saying, like create more than you consume.
I have to catch myself all the time. I'm like, wait, I've spent way too long. There's a certain amount that you need to do because you need to be on trends. You need to be on like what I'm going to create in this moment. But then it gets to a point where it's like, this is unhealthy.
It is unhealthy. And you start comparing yourself to other creators. But it's like, you're literally not them. So you cannot, no one can replicate you, or you cannot replicate them. And there's so many things that come up with the algorithm that just like so different. Like, I as a black creator cannot compare myself to a white creator. It's not possible, right? Like that's something that you need to, I could do the same video same hook, same lighting, same phone, same message,
Yeah.
the content won't behave the same.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, it is spending that time to just step away as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you exist in a niche almost?
Yeah, definitely. I think, and of course, I think, if having a niche, being like, do you mean like from a tech
I guess just being
perspective
like-
or from...
Yeah, I guess like being a black woman in tech, but being a black woman in content creation, because you made that point of like, the content's not going to perform compared to someone else did it. So do you not like put a ceiling, but do you are you aware that what you're making is gonna appeal to a certain audience before you make it?
Yeah, I think so, definitely, because it does feel like social media boxes you anyway, right? Like, I think especially with like TikTok wants you to do what you've always done in a way, almost. And then it's like, if you show up, if you're like a black woman in tech, it's going to put it out to black women in tech. So then that also just like, boxes me in. I think it's difficult as a content creator to evolve with your ideas and then also your audience as well. And I definitely think that like, I don't know how to put this diplomatically, but I just feel like it's hard. So the way that some people turn up on social media, like some of the things that they post, I could just never get away with posting that. It would not perform well at all. You know, I could give you guys, a cute little dancing video. It would get 0 views. Does
that kind of give you like a drive then? Like now that you've got like, you know who you are and who your audience is.
Yeah.
Does it kind of like help you and be a bit more clear in like your path and journey?
Yeah, absolutely. It helps me with my messaging, and I always just have to go back to my why. It would be amazing if I could make, content that's like, no content is easy, but one that doesn't require me to, show up in a certain way, spend so much time on it and, be very value driven, because that's a lot of my content. But that wouldn't, I guess, satisfy me in another way either, because I want it to be value based. I want my audience to be excited when they see me. I want them to be like, oh, like this is what I get from Hosanna's content, and it's a clear message. Like if I watch Hosanna's content, I'm going to get this, and it's enough for me to be. If it's going to be in that box, I'm happy as long as I'm happy in my box. That's what's important, really.
I think a lot of people coast on mediocrity a lot of the time.
And I didn't want to be the one to say it.
I'll say it because I might get too honest, but I feel like that is like the case. You'll see someone and you're like, that's so low budget, like that's so, like, I could never get away with doing that. And I feel like that with my business too. Like I had to, like when I left uni, I had to buy the best equipment. I had to work with the best companies. I had to do all of this stuff because I realized I was under a magnifying glass. Like people are not waiting for me to fail, but like there's like, what's he doing almost? And then you gotta make sure you're showing up all the time. You gotta work twice as hard. But it's not. I think it's great because it leads to greatness every single time, and no one can ever deny that. Like no one can ever say like that was mediocre, because you know you're never gonna put anything out that's mediocre. So like you hold yourself to a standard. And everything is just you just hit the. You hit the goal every single time.
Absolutely,
What about you, Destiny? What's your process like? What's the type of...
So I'm very much like you, where I'm strict with my routine and like my week's plan, where I have strict time when I'm filming, I'm content creating, I'm in front of the camera, and then I'm editing, and then I have time where I post, and I try to keep it in that. But I wanted to mention the fact that this has really worked for me, where I need to realize that like I'm also a business and I'm also a designer, and I'm not just a content creator, even though that is my job. And I need to be okay with like taking step away from content creation and content, putting content out sometimes. Like for example, when I was designing this bag, Addison, I literally spent months not posting consistently on social media. And some people could look at that and be like, wait, your engagement must be completely off. I was still posting, like, if I went to events, I'd be posting like designs, like whatever, but not as consistently as I'm posting now. Because right now in my plan of this bag, I had months where I was designing it, months where I was focusing on like manufacturing, months where I was focusing on like networking, making connections, collaborating.
Startup stuff, man. I love it.
And it's like you need to work as a business. If I was a high budget, like if I was a company that was like massive, they would also have phases where they'd be doing different things.
Yes.
They'd actually have teams where they'd have teams doing
You're
different
all the
things.
teams.
I'm
Yeah.
all
You're
the
literally,
teams. So I need to kind of think about myself, how can I be the best designer that I can be, and be okay with like, yeah, it's stressing me out that I'm not posting as much, but I had to force myself to be okay with it. And then now I'm in the months, like for the past 2 months, where I call it like my social media launch. And the thing with that is like, as soon as I put in, okay, I'm doing social media now, I'm 100% on social media.
Yeah.
I'm not focusing on like different things. If I need to focus on social media, I'm not going to this event, I'm not meeting this person, I'm not taking meetings or anything, I'm doing social media. And it's shown success because I had what I was designing and everything, and now it's like, now it's the campaign, the marketing of this bag, and it's gone really well. And I think it's going to be a thing that I can like continue because it's been great for my mental health and it's been good for my process.
How do you guys keep inspired then, like with everything that's changing on social media? And you know, for instance, for me, I feel like I pivot a lot. When I make content, like in the beginning, if you see my stuff like 2 years ago, it was literally like, here's a tool that you can use, and here's this new AI music plugin, and then then I got bored of it, and then I was like, actually, I'm starting to just like make these videos for brands, and it's not serving me, and then I started like making just music. Then I was like, I'm not even gonna talk. I'm just gonna make this choir thing, and that went crazy. Yeah, but then I realized that the reason why I did that is because I got so bored of like just doing the normal thing. And I was like, I'm a musician, like I make music and people don't know, they just think I talk about tools. And my thing is like, whenever I need to re-inspire myself, I always go back to a Michael Jackson doc, because MJ is like I'm like a huge MJ fan, and he's got this Bad 25 documentary, and it talks about how the album of Bad was made, and there's so many gems that MJ used to like put his mindset into to make himself more motivated and driven. Like, you know, the Bad album sold 100 million records. There was no one that was ever doing that. The only one that was doing that was Thriller beforehand. And so he wrote it on the mirrors. His agent was like, he will write this everywhere like a madman. And he would just center his mindset. And so that always like those little gems and like even podcasts and stuff just inspire me to like do other things. And looking at different creators, I got like I save all of them. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what is, you know, your ultimate like drive and what gets you back into it?
I can go first because I really resonate with what you've just said in regards to pivoting, because I am known for, of course, like tech content. That's kind of where I started, and inspiring people different roles. And I got to a point where I was just like, well, I'm more than that. You know, I work, obviously, yes, I'm an engineer, and tech is a big part of my life, but I also love fitness, I love beauty, I love finances, I love all of these things. And I got to a point where I was feeling, like you said, kind of like uninspired. I was kind of like, oh, like, I'm uninspired, I'm not really sure how to pivot. And I think it's really difficult on social media to like evolve your brand with your audience, because you know it's difficult if you go from just posting like you know, you said you were posting music, and then now you're posting fitness. It can be like, whoa, like what? This is not what we. Jeff doesn't usually do this. And so for me, it's been like going back to the core of like why I started creating content in the first place. Yes, you know, the output was talking about tech, but the why was, you know, impact and influence and, you know, helping women. So for me, that's what inspires me. It's like going back, even no matter what I talk about, as long as it's like there's a reason for that at the other end. So, you know, I could talk about tech today, but then tomorrow I could talk about fitness. And it's like, okay, why are you talking about fitness? Oh, because I want to share this routine that I've seen that I think will be really helpful with, you know, for women who are working and da-da-da-da. So it's like going back to that like central point of like impact. That's been my way of like staying kind of inspired. And obviously you have to fight with the algorithm. you have to you know see what's working out there for other creators as well. But I think if you if you don't know your why, you will struggle to post consistently
Yes.
all the time, every day.
And that's something you always got to come back to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we have a why, and then we go through this journey, and then there's so many distractions that your why just gets left behind a
It's
little
blurred.
bit.
Yeah.
And then once you pick up all of these distractions and negativity and, you know, stress, you got to come back to it. Just drag it back. Just take a moment and just be like, yeah, what is my why, man? And I think the reason why I go back to MJ, because he was my why. Like, with music and seeing the creation of music and stuff like that. So going back to like those conversations makes me remember why I'm doing it as well. How about you, Destiny?
Interesting. So when I feel uninspired, the thing that really helps me is like listening to podcasts or like listening to other people talk. And if I'm ever feeling like stuck and I don't know where to go, I'll just step outward. Like I'll start listening to other conversations. And I noticed that when I could be like listening to a podcast, and then this person that I've never really seen before, but they are a guest on a podcast, and they'll start talking about something, and I'm like, wait, why have I never done this? Like even I was listening to a podcast about this guy was talking about AI, and he was like, if I was starting my career, this is what I would do. I'd lean into AI and stuff, and that just got me like, wait, why aren't I doing this? And then I like, literally I start as soon as possible. Like if I get inspired, I'm like, I'm doing this right now, because there's like a calling almost. And then like, when I hear other people get excited about things, it makes me excited as well. If I see, because sometimes if you like talk to people and they're just all mellow toned, they're not really excited about things and stuff, you can also get uninspired. But like surrounding yourself with people that are doing really crazy things and have like motivation, it kind of brings you up to that energy as well. So like even if like people around you aren't doing that, seek out podcasts, seek out like movies, seek out like different things that will like kind of get you up there.
Does it happen often, like where you have to go to a podcast, or like you do, you know, does it, how many times a week?
How many times a week? I don't know, sometimes like, because I go through like phases of like, I'm doing this certain project, and then like I'm usually very high energy in the start, but then maybe in like the middle I'll be kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I'm kind of like, I'll listen to something, I'm like, wait, why don't I move to this direction? And I just always find like, what's the thing that's going to bring my spark back, bring my energy back? And sometimes it's also like pivoting my work. For example, like I started off with purely creating covers for medical devices, and that was really great when I was starting it. But then I had to be like, what does Destiny want to create? Like what would make the little girl inside me like get really excited? What do I want to like create? And I found that like when you start incorporating more of what you like and what you're passionate about and what you want to create, but like blend it into what's already working, that's when people will like feel the authenticity, and that's when they'll resonate more, and that's when you'll have more energy to put into it, and that's gonna give you the most output as well. So then I went into like designing bags, and because I love bags, I'm like, how can I make a bag?
What you love.
Into
a business.
How can I make a bag that's also just so on brand, that's also going to be functional for people that wear medical devices and stuff, but it's like an accessory that like everyone can wear. So that's what got me fired up.
So good.
Jonathan?
So it's two things for me. It's first thing is traveling. You heard that joke when people say they go on holiday and they come back and they want to change their whole life. There's a reason for that. I genuinely think
Really?
like
What holidays have you been on that inspired you?
it's more. I think it's more traveling, because I feel like there's a big distinction between like traveling and holiday. I think for me, like traveling to America this year was insane, because I've always wanted to go there, and that's like the mecca of, you know, entertainment, creativity, music, film, everything. So when you're in America and then you go to New York specifically, and you're around all of it, it's just crazy.
The energy in America is different as well.
Different.
Right? They're just like go for it.
It's go.
Go for it, man.
You can do it, man.
Got one life, man. You do it, man. It's just like you're out there. Like I was staying in Manhattan, and that's like the city. So like, you know, I feel like, because the first time I wanted to go to America, I was a student, so I was like, I'll stay in New Jersey, or like out
on the outskirts.
Yeah, on the outskirts, and I'll come in. But then I was like, that's not good enough, because if I'm gonna go there, I need to stay. You gotta do Manhattan. And I tell you, like when I woke up in the morning, and like they've got the people out there cleaning the streets, and then they got the mailman, and then they got like UPS and all of these people, and they're just hustling. Everyone's hustling. And it's like this different kind of energy. You step out on the street, everyone's like either going to work, or they're filming content, they're doing this, they're doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so I have no excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have
Yeah.
no excuse. Or I'm going into a coffee shop and I'm like, oh, what? Talking to someone like, oh, what are you doing? They're like, yeah, I'm a tech founder, beauty influencer, yeah.
Everyone's the same. Like,
Yeah.
a tech founder.
Tech founder influence.
Yeah, or like someone will say like, oh, I babysit dogs. And I'm like, oh. And
But they
like,
make thousands.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
about America.
Yeah.
Like, they
I babysit dogs, but you should check out my Insta.
yeah, literally. And it's just like, oh, I was at this party with like Chris Brown the other day.
Oh.
And I was babysitting his baby dog. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh, wow, okay. See, that's different. Like,
Yeah.
You're a celebrity
Dog
dog sitter.
Exactly. At least, yeah.
Adds layers
and
to
then
it.
it's just, and then you talk to these people, and I'm like, yeah, in the UK we just have like everyone does one thing, and out there everyone does so much stuff. And I remember when I got back to the UK, I was like, okay, like I'm not just doing one thing anymore. Like I've never just done one thing anyway, but I'm like
But
I
now-
can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I can
That
do it,
energy.
100%. Or like when I went to Turkey, Istanbul, like their religion out there, like they're like the Islamic faith, like the culture is so strong.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to connect with my faith a little bit more.
interesting.
So I was like, that's why I went out there. Like when I went to Italy, like the food is incredible. Like I love it. So I was like, okay, I got to start making better
You're
meals.
just taking in these cultures.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
inspiring. I love
Yeah,
that.
so that's kind of what I do, because when I travel to all of these places, I don't just stay. It's not a resort thing. You know what I mean? It's
You're
not,
out there
it's-
experiencing.
It's
the
everything.
culture.
Yeah, I'm talking to people. I'm like,
Difference.
it's
But you're
amazing.
intentionally like going to these places and trying to absorb everything
Yes.
that you can to re-energize your soul,
Yeah.
basically.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I always think to myself, it's a little bit of a weird thing to think, but I think like right now there's someone on the other side of the world that's making money, doing their thing, and they don't know I exist.
Yeah.
But like we're all in our own little, like we all share the same planet, but we're all in our own little
bubble,
world.
yeah.
So it's just like if someone else is making money here, then I can make money and I can make my
Yeah,
dreams
yeah.
work, because they're there, but they don't know I'm here.
Yeah.
It's just like that's how I look at it.
I love
So I
that.
think that's the first thing, and then the last thing is just videos. Like I've got so many like YouTube videos, interviews, like
That you just watch.
yeah,
just
like
take from.
like this random Nicki Minaj Hot 97
Interviews.
video. Like oh my god, she
Oh,
went
trust
off
me,
it.
I
She's
think
so
I've seen
good.
that.
You seen that one, the
Yeah,
the Funk Flex one? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like
crazy.
random, just like I don't know,
Inspirational.
inspirational stuff.
Inspirational, just like clips.
What was
Yes.
the
Just
Nicki
like-
Minaj one? Like, what was she talking about?
She was talking about her come up essentially. So she did an
Yeah.
interview with Funk Flex, like big radio DJ in America, and like he took her back from like square one all the way to where she's at now, and she tells, I love this story so much. She tells this story about how she was on this DVD called the Come Up DVD, and basically like Lil Wayne was on that DVD, and she was cleaning her house in New York, and she played the DVD over and over again, and then on the outro it was like a Lil Wayne song. So she played that for like 2-3 hours maybe, cleaning her whole house. And then after the DVD finished, she got a call from her manager and was like, Lil Wayne wants to talk to you. And she talks about how she kind of like, she felt like she summoned that, because she felt like she wanted to be on that record label, and you know how she wanted to make it work. And then Funk Flex, he asked her, okay, what was that moment? And she says, it was the moment that I thought that this maybe could happen. I didn't know it was
Is that,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, I didn't
There's
know.
this little,
The
Yeah.
anticipation of
It's-
that little moment.
Yeah,
Powerful.
it's that little thing. She's like, I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but this is God talking to me to be like, okay, I see you're struggling right now. I
Yeah.
see you going for it, but I can't give you exactly what you want right now. But I'm gonna give you this one thing, and then
Give
I
you
want.
steps.
I'm gonna give you
Give you
steps.
steps.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you this rope, and like you're gonna. Depending on how you handle this situation, it will determine if I'm going to give you more, or if you're going to back out and be like, this isn't it. And then that call led to her getting signed and everything. I'm not even a big Nicki Minaj music fan, but
No,
she's
but it's
From
so
a
stories,
mindset,
man.
Yeah,
It's so
right?
stories.
There's
And,
so many people who have great stories like that you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I can.
and especially
I
when
can
you
be
see
inspired.
Nicki Minaj, like on the surface, like you could probably look at her and just be like, yeah, she's cool and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you know, but you don't really know what went into
amount
it.
of work.
grind.
Yeah.
The grit,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grind,
yeah. Oh, it's
and
insane.
yeah, the consistency.
Yeah.
And again, like, you know, there's a lot of people probably watching this as well and or listening, and they're probably like thinking, we're doing a lot, and you know, they might be looking like I've gone through. I remember like 2 years ago before I started making content and stuff. Now I look, you know, when I look back, I was procrastinating a lot of like not going to do the next thing, just saying to myself, I'll just do it like next week, or like, you know, I need to get this done first and then do it. Like I wanted to go through, you know, because it seems like all of us, with your story just then, with like traveling and stuff, it's like you're just doing it, you know, or like Destiny with your thing, you just did it. And like, it's like there's all these opportunities that come, like, there's so many things that come into your life, but then there's nothing stopping you from just doing it. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, how do you overcome procrastination, or if you had any advice for people that think that they're procrastinating, which you probably are. Let's get it straight, guys. If you're watching this, you're procrastinating a little bit.
But we're fine with that.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
okay.
fine.
Stay till the end.
And that's cool because we all do it. But yeah, what kind of, you know, how do you get over procrastination and how do you just move to the next step?
Release the idea of perfectionism. Like,
Ooh, that's a good one.
the biggest thing that is stopping people from doing anything is the fact that you're literally so focused on being perfect that you're not actually doing anything. Like, I am so aware that like the content I made in the beginning is nowhere near where it should be. But the fact that I still did it and I still posted and was consistent with it, and I just did. And the advice that I used to always stick by in the beginning of my work was whatever idea you have, just do it.
Get it out.
Just do it. The quicker you go from like idea in your head to like actually doing it, the more successful you are because you create that momentum.
Yeah.
But now in my work that I've realized is that there's so many things that like I procrastinate because it's more of like a mental block.
Yeah.
It's that like, it's kind of like, it's more of like an emotional thing. Like even like last month, I officially like set up my business, like LTD. And the fact is that that was an easy process to do, but it was this mental block that it's kind of like you're stopping yourself because maybe you're scared of like, what does that mean if I do this? And that's why in your head, you're making it seem so much bigger than it is. And like, it's also just being aware that there is that mental block. And being like, okay, I know you're feeling stressed. I talk to myself all the time. Like, I know you're feeling stressed, but realistically, it's easy. It's easy. It's going to be easy. And the difficult part about it is the mental part, I think.
So do you just talk to yourself? Is that like your way of...
I just force myself to do it
Just do
because
it.
I'm like this uncomfortable feeling that's stopping me from doing it. I just need to override that kind of. And I just, even though I'm going to be uncomfortable doing this application and stuff, I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to feel so much better that I actually... did it. It's kind of like a relief. And life is all about doing the uncomfortable things because that's what's going to give you the biggest payoff, because so many people stop themselves because they're like, no, that feels too uncomfortable. But it's like the thing that you need to realize is people that are doing things successfully is they are uncomfortable all the time. And that's the only way you know that you're doing something new and you're doing something worth doing. I also do believe that things that are meant for you are meant to be easy and like it's meant to flow and you're meant to do things. But also sometimes there are things that are uncomfortable and you need to think, is it more of like an uncomfortable physical thing or is it uncomfortable because mentally I have this like
load and block? When I feel like I'm procrastinating about to do something, for instance, a half marathon, you know what I do? I tell 10 people that I'm doing a half marathon before I book
Accountability.
it.
That's the
I
thing.
literally text
That's
bro,
a good
I'm gonna do a thing.
point.
Bro, I'm gonna do a thing. I'm doing this, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
so
And now there's 10 people. Next time I see you,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about it. I better do it. I should have done it.
Forced
Like,
accountability.
embarrassing then.
yeah, I've it's embarrassing, but I do that. I'll say like, yeah, we've got. It could be with anything. Like I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. Because we all have like these ideas, and it's like, do it then, innit? Just do it. And I love that though. I love that you've come to grips with it, and you know you figured out a way. How about yourself, Hosanna?
I think a turning point for me was like to focus on discipline over motivation. I used to always be like, oh, am I motivated to do this right now? Probably not. I'm not motivated. I don't want to do it. But it's like when I started focusing on discipline, that just kind of shifted my mindset, because it was like, it doesn't matter if you're not motivated. Like, I think that's what people think. They think you need to be motivated to be successful, and they think successful people are always motivated to do what they want, but they're not. Everyone has moments where they don't want to do it. Of course you don't.
Fuck your feelings, follow the plan.
Literally, that is literally it. Because it's like, I've had times where it's like, literally, I've got brand deals and they're paying me money and I don't want to do it. I'm like, I'm not motivated. And people would be like, what? You're going to turn away thousands of pounds? I'm like, well, I don't want the, but it's like, no, you need to be disciplined because like you said, you've got a plan.
Yeah.
Forget about it. So when you start focusing on productivity and things like that, like, I don't know if you guys know Ali Abdaal.
No.
Well, he's
After
he's huge.
He's sick.
He's like YouTuber.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
like 4-5 million followers on YouTube.
It's crazy.
Like
He's just got these hacks and he's
like productivity.
Yeah, productivity.
Yeah.
And he went from being a medical doctor to being a YouTuber to now having like a multi-million-dollar business, which is all about how to become a better creator and things like that.
Yeah.
Like he's really.
In the beginning, it was a medical student.
He was a
right?
medical student,
yeah, and
literally.
he was giving like
just
info
advice
about that,
and then he's pivoted onto like other things. And yeah, I've watched a lot of his content, and that's helped me kind of get over procrastination because it's all about trying to be productive and kind of focusing on that discipline. And then I have to say, it is these damn phones. I'm sorry, like, it is. Our parents are right. Like you procrastinate because you're on TikTok and it's like, oh no, it's 30. You know, it's 1:30. I should stop. But it's like your finger just wants to scroll another one and another one and another one. So taking less time off my phone has helped with procrastinating so much because you realize how much time you have during the day. And I know it sounds crazy to say that as a creator, but it's like you have to remember, like we've talked about, if you want your creation to become a business, you have to get over that like feeling of like, well, this is my time. It's like this is the business's time that you are spending and wasting scrolling through TikTok and doing whatever. And that helps me think, okay, no more procrastinating. I have my 30 minutes of fun, take off the phone, off you go.
Yeah, and that's like the best advice to even give like early people who are just starting a career. It's like you need to act like this is a multi-million-pound business.
Yes.
Because if you believe that it's going to be, you need to start doing that now. And that means like if you're working on your creative practice, whatever, you need to tell people, no, I'm at work.
Yes,
I'm working.
work.
Because that makes you take it more seriously and that makes other people take it more seriously as well because it is work.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you were working a corporate job, like you said, you shouldn't spend hours on TikTok, right?
No,
on Instagram or whatever, or on watching YouTube videos or whatever, right? You would be like, no, I've got these emails to do, I've got this to finish, and I've got that. And that helps me get over. And then also, I agree with the mental thing. Procrastination is often also the fear of like failing. So if you get over it, it's like, if you fail, oh well. You are one person in a world of billions. Nobody cares.
No one's listening. No one's watching.
Nobody cares.
Fail
Nobody
in
cares.
silence,
Literally, nobody cares if you fail. Nobody. But you know who people will care about? When you win. You will be plenty of accolades. People will be there smiling. So at least you would have tried that. I think that also is another thing that keeps me going. It's like future me in 10 years is going to look back and think, at least I gave it a go, rather than seeing everyone else that gave it a go and thinking,
you just watch a bunch of YouTube videos and you say you're going to do it, but you did it. At least you're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about yourself, Jonathan?
I think my girl said this to me the other day. Hopefully I don't butcher it, but she said the receipt. Oh damn, what is it? She was like, she gonna kill me because she's gonna watch this and be like, I told you in the car. She's like,
I told you in the car.
I told you in the car. It's crazy. She's like, remember this.
I was gonna say, if you got it on your phone, just
full name.
She said, I think it was along the lines of the bill of regret is not worth the price that you pay. If I'm right, and I think what she meant by that,
the bill of regret.
The bill of regret
is not worth the price that you pay.
So.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, So kind of. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But like, I cannot get to 65 and think to myself, I should have done that. Like the list of things that are on my deathbed, of course I'm gonna have regrets. But I want them to be like that.
Tiny.
I really want it to be like, I've done everything I've said I wanted to do. Even like we were talking about kids earlier, I want to do so much stuff before I have kids. Because I want to bring them into a world where it's just like, okay, dad was successful, dad did this, dad did that. So he's never gonna feel a certain type of way about, oh, I've got to take you to football, but I'm trying to run this business. It's like, the business is there. Like, it's good. I've like, I want to travel to this place. It's like, I've done it. I did it all. I did it in my 20s, I did it in my 30s, because I don't want to have that regret. Because because I'm 27 now, I already have regrets. And I'm like, that's not good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
I got it now. Let's stop with the regrets from now.
Yeah. And I feel like, God's given me like a certain level of freedom, especially, like this country isn't the best, but at least we have freedom to do stuff. Like when you look at other countries, like it's crazy. Like you can't do anything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like so, I'm in like when you realize you're in complete control of your life, and of course there's boundaries, there's racism, there's inequality, there's classism. There's all of these things, but it really just comes down to your mindset.
Yes.
Like it depends. Like all of this, it's just all dependent on whether you want it or not. And he's given me a certain level of freedom to move around the way I want to move around. And I feel like every day he's looking at me and he's like, "You want to keep going? You want to, you want to keep doing this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll keep going. I'll keep doing this and I'll doing that." And every time I have like a win, I'll just thank him because I'm like, "That was you." You know what I mean? He's the one that's given me another day of life. He's the one that gave me the confidence to even do this today, like to come and talk in a room with like people. Like I know me and you met. Like I've not met you two amazing ladies. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, cool. Like just keep on going because I don't want to. I would have hated to, you know, have been sat at home and then, you know, Maverick's texting me and like, "Oh, today went great. I wish you could have been there." Like, I don't want that. But then it's like,
and you could have easily said, "No, I don't want to do it," or "You're busy," or you know, procrastinated. You know. So.
Oh, there's like 5 people waiting on stuff from me right now. I've got like 5 emails. Like, it's like people want stuff, but I'm just like, nah, this is important. This is important. So it's just like, you know, that as I always say, like that list has to be small.
Yes.
That has to be small because I've got the most amount of time, freedom that I'll probably ever have in my life right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I love that. Yeah. Hosanna, you spoke earlier about someone paying you a certain amount of money, like, you know, brands, and you didn't have to take it and stuff like that. I wanted to ask, because I had you know, I was telling you guys when I first started making content and people were just coming out with brand deals and stuff, and I just didn't know where I was. And I know there's a lot of people watching this kind of umming and ahhing about like, what do I charge and what is my worth? And I remember that time when I first did a video for someone, like a big music tech company, and they were like, "What's your rates?" I was like, I literally said £50. And I was like, and I told my wife, and she was like, "That doesn't seem right." And then we Googled it at the time because there wasn't no ChatGPT, and she was like, "You should be getting this," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is it? Because imposter syndrome hit me, and I was like, I don't know if I'm worth that or am I worth that? And she was like, "Yeah, man, like you've got this reach and you're doing this and you're great at what you do." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And next time was £100. And then it went up and up and up. And now I'm on like some crazy amount, and I'm like, that's where it is. If you that's my price, and if you don't want it, you know, that's you. But I wanted to ask, like, you know, when did you guys, or, you know, are you still in search of knowing your worth, and what is that, and how did you figure out a way to price up your, you know, your worth?
I think for me, I am a very kind of like numbers strategic person. First of all, you've got to know the facts, right? You've got to know your numbers. You've got to know your engagement. You've really got to be in your engagement, your platform, and know how you do your analytics. You've got to be in your analytics to kind of know what you could potentially be charging. And I think you've got to go out and do your research to see what other people are saying, because the creator industry is new. So nothing is set in stone, right? Effectively, most people have been kind of making it up. And then, you know, I think someone was like, "Oh no, you should charge based on your views." And then at some point it was, you should charge based on your followers, which don't do that. You know, and now, exactly. The focus is mainly on engagement. So you really got to know all of that, and then you've got to know you're not just being charged for the video. You are being charged for any advertising. You are being charged for how long they're going to use it. You're being charged for if they're saying you have to, you know, not work with any competitors, or if there's a rush fee. There's so many aspects to that. So I think doing your research on how to be monetized first is really important. And then I've been very lucky. I have an agent, so she's very great at setting my fees for me based on her experience. So she used to work in the market. Now she runs her own agency. So having that person to kind of support me in understanding what my worth is really important. But it's kind of like with social media, it's like your CV, right? Like if I was applying for a job, well, it doesn't matter whether or not, you know, how much I'm making now, is what the job is worth. How much, what budget you have for this role, and whether or not I'm worth it. So that's how I see it. It's, you know, if tech companies often reach out to me and they want to work with me, and sometimes it is that thing where they're like, "Oh, well, you know, as you say, they don't want to pay," but it's like, what you're paying for is my expertise, right? Like I have experience in the industry, and I've built an audience based off of that, right? So do you want to pay for my expertise, or do you want to just get your message out? Those are two very different things. So for me, that's been the best thing that I've kind of done. I've focused on my analytics and my engagement and my videos and my saves and the comments from everybody that I know and my audience. And then I've gone out into the market and seen, oh, these creators are charging this much. I should roughly be going here. And obviously, like I said, I've got an agency. But unfortunately, I think sometimes what we find is because people don't know, creators don't know their worth yet, and we're still there, that does bring the entire industry down because
Yes.
creators will charge
Lower.
half
Yeah.
of what like a big creator would charge, and then companies are like, yes,
Go
we'll
with
go
them.
for that one,
Yeah.
and then that kind of sets the tone. So it can be difficult, but I think research, facts, and just having your information to back up why you're kind of going for that number.
Yeah, I love that. Destiny?
Yes, so in the beginning, now I've got an agent and a manager, so I don't really have to stress about it too much. But I remember in the beginning of when things started taking off, I would get very overwhelmed and very like nervous because I was like, how on earth do people know how to do this and do this for themselves? What I recommend is social media. There's so many creators out there that are being transparent about what they're making. Like I remember Moyo, was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's great.
Yeah.
He's very
Yeah.
transparent about how to charge, what you should be charging. And I'm always a person who I always speak out about know your worth and know what you bring to the table and be confident in yourself and your value. And it's honestly better to overcharge, and then the brand will tell you what their budget is, and then you can decide whether it's worth the opportunity or not. Then what I did was I also have like an influencer friend that was kind of in that world anyway. So she did help me a lot as well when I was getting into social media and stuff. So she was giving me advice, and the way her influencer, and she was a model as well, how she worked social media did relate to like how I was doing things as well. But then obviously I am different because I'm running a business, I'm a designer, stuff like that. And then what I always say is getting an agent, like a social media agency, is a great way to monetize your social media because TikTok, Instagram doesn't really pay that well. So what happened to me was when things started going very viral, J'adore modeling agency actually reached out to me and they asked me if I want to be a model for them. And I remember sending them a voice note and I was like, I don't think I would be a very great model at all. But because I just don't think it's for me, like where I was at in my career and my work and what was happening. And even like that was when I just got the Vogue and BMW thing. So I knew that like modeling wasn't something that was going to grow what I was doing. But I literally sent them a voice note and I was like, but I see you have a social media agency and my social media is getting a lot of traction right now. So instead of being a model for you in your modeling agency, could we do the social media thing? And they like referred me to their agent for social media. And now that's how I got my social media agency, because I realized what I am and the work I do, modeling won't really benefit me, and having a modeling agent wouldn't really benefit me, but a social media manager and a social media agent, that's going to be so much better for me, because social media is going to not only grow my business, it's going to grow my personal brand, everything. Maybe in the future I could do modeling, but I think that was the best decision I could do.
I love that you noticed that, like, you know, because a lot of people will see those opportunities and be like, let me just do it because it's a big name, big brand, I'll do it. But you obviously had your brand you know, in the back of your head, and that's awesome.
It's kind of just about like making the right calls, especially in that period of my life. Like I was so overwhelmed with everything happening and I really didn't know what the right decision was. But it's again about kind of being grounded and being like, okay, now think about this strategically, what would be the best way forward and who's going to help me the most in what's happening right now. And that was that opportunity. So it kind of aligned perfectly for when the Vogue stuff happened and my social media was growing. I had this social media agency like alongside me as well.
Yeah.
So that was really
awesome.
great. Yeah.
Jonathan, how about you?
So before AI, it was you figure it out because no client is the same. So that's kind of like the rule, the golden rule that they say, like, what you charge Nike is definitely not what you charge like a local bakery, because that's just insane. Like you would never do that. Of course, now with AI, you can just type it in. How much should I charge for the shoot? It'll give you a price. But with me, I look. So supply and demand is big for me because I'm from Birmingham. So there's less people doing what I'm doing there. So I realized that I am worth a little bit more in my city compared to anywhere else. So if I know that I'm the best in my city, then I can charge a bit more. If I know that I'm in London or Manchester, wherever it may be, and I've got to go down, it's like, there's like, I don't know how the system works there necessarily. But what I tend to do is just, that every couple of years, I look at what I've done, like I look at the companies I've worked with, and I'll say, okay, if I've worked with a big company, like when I got to work with Instagram, I'm like, okay, that has to increase the price because that's Instagram and that's in the portfolio
Like the
now.
budget.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like
Yesterday's price
like,
is not today's price.
Exactly.
So you've got
Exactly.
benchmarks now.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it's benchmarks, and it's
Yeah.
just like what you said, just sending off an email, and then they'll tell you that if
Yeah.
it's too high, they'll tell you it's too high, and that's totally fine
Yeah.
because like that's how you get to a price that works for everyone.
And then you make the call as well. Like if you think that's going to benefit your portfolio, your experience, if it's going to look good for you as well, then you can kind of go on like a lower price than like something that's unrelated, but you're only doing it for the money.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And for me, it's like if I because I have benchmarks like how much I want to make each month. So if I've already hit that target and the job comes through, and like if I don't need it, then I just won't do it. I'll just be like, I've hit my quota. I'm done. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to work myself to death. Because I realise, okay, what is a comfortable amount in the West Midlands? It's nothing compared to London. So like I know that. Okay, it's a bit different. You know what I mean? So it's all of these factors, and usually we just whoever I'm talking to, we settle on a price, and then and it's nothing personal. Too, like I always tell people, it's nothing personal. If you do not have the money to pay me, I'm gonna tell you that. But that doesn't mean what you're doing is bad. It doesn't mean that I'm pricing myself out. It just means that let me not do this because I don't want to have to go to the shoot and feel like I'm being underpaid. You know what I mean? I'd much rather just sit in my house and just figure out how to connect with the bigger brands who are going to pay me more when I get that amount.
And you're happy with it, right? Like there's definitely an amount. I mean, it's not, we don't just do this for the money, but there's definitely an amount where you're like, I'm happy with this, and I'm cool with it, and I'll do the job, and I'll experience. And then obviously when you do the job, you grow your network. You do, more opportunities come, and I love that, man. Guys, this has been awesome. We're about to wrap up, but I wanted to ask individually, real quickly, like, we have a lot of people watching. Some people are just starting out, or they're trying to get into this whole creative space, whatever they're doing, different industries, different spaces. But Destiny, like, if you were to tell yourself something when you were like, 10 years ago, before you started everything, what would a piece of advice be to your younger self?
Ooh, oh my God. What would it be? It would just believe in yourself more. Believe that the things you're saying, just because you don't have external validation, it doesn't mean that you're any less than. Because the same mindset that I had before all of this happened is the same mindset I carry right now, and I think it's my most valuable asset. But some people, they need external validation to be like, oh, now I'll listen to what you're saying. But it's like, no, I've been saying this and I've been the same person. And I would tell every little girl, any creator, just believe in yourself more and keep going. Just never give up, because the people that never give up are the ones who reach goals. And you never know when you're like 4 feet away from gold. So that's why you can never,
I love that.
never throw the hat in.
Amazing.
Awesome.
For me, I would say younger self, and to anyone who started over, just remember that like consistency leads to visibility, and more than anything, visibility leads to opportunity. People have to see you to be able to reward you. So you have to show up. That's it, right? Like you have to show up. You have to be consistent. You have to put the work in, and you have to shout and be proud of what you've done as well. I think often as creators, you can feel like, is what I'm doing really like helpful for anything? Is like, is it worth it? And you just need to get over the cringe and just kind of just put your work out there for everybody to see, and shout about your achievements, because no one else is going to do it for you. Right? And if people don't see your work and they don't see what you're able to do, they're not able to give you opportunities. You're not able to get accolades. You're not able to get the brand deals, or be in amazing magazines, or work with amazing brands. So that's what I would say: be consistent, be visible, and then you'll be able to get some new opportunities.
I love that.
I would say the road is treacherous. Very treacherous, very treacherous.
That's real though.
It's tough, man. It's tough. But just because it's hard, it does not mean that it's not a road that's worth taking. It just means it's hard. And anything in life, anything that comes quick never really lasts. Anything that takes time to get will last forever. Like, you got to think from when we were talking about kids, from when you're born, you're told to go down this path of like, okay, primary school, secondary school, college, uni, job, family. Do you get what I mean? Life.
Yeah.
And that is totally fine. But if you want to be that one person that does something extraordinary, you're probably going to have to miss a few of those things or go down the route that no one told you about. You're going to have to meet someone who's going to be like, hey, I got this amazing high-paying job.
Yeah.
That, you know, you're not going to see that amazing job on LinkedIn. The way you're going to see that job is if maybe you don't work that 9 to 5, but maybe you got a business, and because you got the business, you're networking with people. Because you're networking with people, people are giving opportunities to you.
Yeah.
So you're not just sat in an office all day where you only know 30 people. When you're an entrepreneur, you know hundreds of thousands of people potentially. You get what I mean? So it's like, don't just think because this is a road that seems a bit scary, that's filled with challenges, that it's not worth taking. Because at the end of the day, extraordinary people go down these extraordinary roads and do things that isn't conventional.
Yes.
So I think this idea of clinging to comfort and clinging to the ordinary is fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like you're going to have to, if you really want to do something, you really want to be someone, you're going to have to put in like a lot of late nights. You're going to have to fail fast. You're going to have to, you know, kind of be uncomfortable. Like all of these things are just character building. It's just like armor. Like every single time something doesn't go wrong, it's like a piece of armor. You keep on building it, and you get to a stage where like you're the most resilient person, and you go up to anyone and talk to them because you don't care. You don't care about failing.
Yeah.
You don't care about looking like an
I don't
idiot.
care.
I don't care about nothing because it is not
Apart
worth
from
it.
the check. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. And the legacy, you know what I mean?
Yes,
It's just like 'cause
yes.
you want to leave something at the end of the day. We all want to leave something.
Yeah. I love that, man. Guys, it's been amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that anyone watching this or listening is going to take away at least one gem. There must be at least one gem here. But guys, thank you again, Jonathan, Hosanna, Destiny. All of their handles will be in the description below. This has been the Creator Roundtable, and this is where we talk about real creator journeys and everything that we're going through as creators, ups and downs and the hills and valleys. And, you know, we're just hoping that you guys take inspiration from this and take your career to another level. This has been the Creator Roundtable. I've been your host, Jeff Nang, and thank you for watching. Peace.
Hey.
That was
That was
fun.
great.
Okay.